Hi, my name's Emma and let's talk spooky stuff. Welcome back to my channel. Today is another what I watched this month wrap up, and I watched, I would say, a medium amount of movies for myself, but I watched a lot of TV, so I have a lot to talk about and a lot of recommendations to give. So please have your pen and paper or your notes app ready to go, because I'm gonna recommend you a couple of things to put right at the top of your to watch list. Before we jump onto Letterboxd, I wanna thank today's sponsor, which is Surfshark. A lot of people ask me, how do I watch so much content, including content that may be blocked in my country? The answer is Surfshark. Surfshark is a VPN, which stands for Virtual Private Network. Not only do they encrypt and protect all of your data, they also can unlock geo-block content from around the world. So if you wanted to switch to any country's Netflix, it's just a simple click and you're in. This gives me hundreds of more options when I'm looking for content to recommend to you. I've been using Surfshark for over a year now out of my own pocket, and I truly recommend it. I think it's really user-friendly, and your subscription offers unlimited devices, so you can access your VPN on your phone or on your laptop or even on your TV, all under the same account. Surfshark have a 30-day risk-free money-back guarantee. So if you're not happy with your product, you can ask for your money back within 30 days. So really, there's no harm in giving it a go today. If you want to download it, use the code SPOOKY and the URL, which is in the description down below, and you'll get 83% off plus 3 months extra for free. Thank you to Surfshark for sponsoring this video, and let's jump into what I watched this month. So my name on Letterboxd is Spookyastronaut, and yes, I use Letterboxd. A lot of people ask what app I'm using. It's called Letterboxd. I always have it linked down below. And if you are following me, I do follow you back. Sometimes it takes me a little while to go through and follow everyone, but if I followed you recently, hello, thank you for following me. So we're gonna go back to the start of the month. I can't believe it was March this month. It feels like May already for me, but anyway. So one of the first films I watched this month was The Interview. This is an Australian film that I mentioned in, I watched this because I wanted to give Australian recommendations for thrillers and horrors. I did a whole video on that. And this one is really interesting. It is about a man who is not convicted, he's taken in for questioning to the police station, and it's just this whole, it's called The Interview. It's kind of self-explanatory, but it's this whole back and forth, and I don't want to say too much because it's a really cool ending, but it's kind of a slow burn crime drama that I probably would recommend to a lot of you guys. I think you'd probably get a good kick out of it. I then watched Jumpman, and this is a Russian film that was very interesting. I was just thinking, who is this? This is my partner who I watched it with. So this one is about this boy who is born and put into this, I guess it's a surrender box where babies go, and he has this special gift where he can't be hurt. It's so strange, and they don't really explain that properly, so it's a very interesting film. Anyway, when he grows up and he lives in this orphanage for all of these years, he actually goes to live with his biological mother, and she takes advantage of his gift. It is a really interesting movie. It's very dark, and it sounds very sci-fi. It's not like that at all. It's very drama, it's very dark, and it's very unusual. There's a lot of things that you're like, wait, did that just happen or did it not? They really like skim through a lot, but I think it was interesting. What did I give it? A 2.5? No, I gave it a 3. So I probably would recommend that to you guys because it's something very unique and different. Probably will be on a unique list in the future, if anything. I watched Moana. This is the first time I've ever seen it. I don't know why it took us so long, but we just wanted to watch something easy. I'm sure everyone knows what Moana is. Yeah, I thought it was fun. I watched Man on a Ledge. I can't even remember. Oh, this was like that crime one about the guy on the ledge, obviously. And this is a crime drama, thriller, maybe, yeah, I would say so. Sam Worthington, Elizabeth Banks, Jamie Bell. Yeah, it's about a guy who is being investigated, and he's about to jump off this ledge, and about the crime that he got involved in that got him to this place. It kind of goes back and forth, and you kind of piece together why he's actually there by the end of it. It's not bad, it's just not great. I watched The Stylist, and this is a movie that I was really excited to see for a long time. If you watch my What's Coming Up this month on VOD, I mentioned this one, and I was very surprised by this one. I did a Patreon only review. I know a lot of people ask me Oh, where's your opinion on this? I do a lot of other reviews over there. It is, I'm sorry, plug, I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna tell you where it is. It's $2 a month, a whole month, and I do a bonus video every single week. Lots of personal stuff, lots of behind the scenes, lots of vlogs, but also a lot of just like sit down and chat about films I've just watched. So The Stylist was based on a short film of the same name, and I felt like this film, the feature, was so different and in a good way. It was very unique. I did have a problem with some of the plot and how predictable it was and kind of where the story went. It was like a little bit strange where I didn't feel like I got a good ending and a good wrap up, but I felt like the character study of, I think her name's Claire, is it? Yes, Claire. It was so interesting. I think that she was just such a different character you don't see very often in horror movies, and I really enjoyed that. She was very different to what she was in the short film. If you saw that, she was very confident, and in this film, it just really goes into her insecurities and her anxieties, and I think it's something a lot of people can relate to, so I really liked it for that. I would really highly recommend checking it out. Although it wasn't the best time, I do think it's definitely worth it. It was just quite predictable towards the end, but I think the character study of her alone is well worth it. I then watched Sun. This is about, a lot of people told me to watch this because obviously I love anything to do with cults. It's about a woman who has this son, obviously, and he gets this illness, and then it goes into her backstory of how he came to be and who his, biological father and the family they came from and all of that. I just think it was very messy. It was just all over the place, and although I did like some scenes, it felt like the film was set around, I've heard people say this before, some action directors have owned up to this before, which, I mean, it's not bad, you can totally do this, wanting to capture some particular scenes in a film so they really mold the stories around those scenes. So I felt like that happened in this movie. I probably wouldn't recommend it. I didn't think it was great. I gave it 2.5, so I mean, it's in the middle, it's quite average. Yeah, look, a lot of people love this though. Maybe do check it out. See what you think. It's a little bit of an iffy one for me. I watched Hell House LLC. This is again something I watched with my patrons. I have seen this before, and I think I liked it I thought I liked it. And then when we were watching it, I'm like, this film is not as good as I remember. And then I went back and watched my initial review, which I've been here for like 6 years now. So, it's been a while. So I went back and watched it and realized that I didn't like it the first time. So funny when that thing kind of happens. I don't know. Maybe it's found footage, so I thought I liked it. Weird. I watched Slacks, which I did a review on, and I'm glad a lot of people have been loving this as well. Yeah, I was really happy about that. I watched The Village and The Happening. I did this for a Does This Offend You that I do with Nightmare Maven every month. If you don't know, we sit down and we talk about 2 films, and we compare and contrast all of the taboo moments in there. Anything people can find offensive, we pick them apart. And when we do this, we're very aware that we're reaching, but we do this because sometimes you just slide over those topics, and we wanted to create a complete show that was just about that, so it's fun. We don't really get offended by the films, if anyone was wondering, or if that has put anyone off watching. It's not really like that at all. It's just us really going into depth. And to give you a sneak peek, the next one will be on my channel this month, and we'll be talking about Suspiria, the original, and Suspiria, the remake, and everything controversial in them both. So very excited. Look out for information about that coming up. I watched Phobias. I did a review on this, and I mean, I don't mind not having the same opinion as everyone, but I felt like everyone hates this film and I liked it, which isn't the worst thing. Like, that's totally fine. If I saw something in a movie and no one else did, I'm glad that at least it was made for one person. But I was really surprised how many people hated it. And then someone DM'd me, I think, or I saw a comment saying that they were really shocked it actually has a 3.7 on IMDb, and I gave it a 7. I really enjoyed it. I'm like, what was I watching? Was I watching something different to everyone else? I was really surprised by Macy Gray. I mean, I did a whole review on this, but I was really surprised by Macy Gray in it. I thought that her whole thing was just chilling. Anthology films aren't really my thing, and I really enjoyed this one, and I thought that was quite rare for me. I don't know. I don't know what I was drinking that night, but I liked the film. I liked the film. It was just very interesting. I also got this awful comment from someone saying how I should do better because I liked the film, and then they spent $7 on it, and they were kind of blaming me because they didn't like it. But I mean, I do my best, but I'm also just going to give my opinion at the end of the day. You know, that's why I try and describe something in a spoiler-free way, where you will know whether you like it with your personal taste. There's no one who rates every single film the same as someone else. There's no one. Anyway, enough of that. But yeah, I was just blown away by that. Go check out my review. Watch the film for yourself if you want to spend the time. I don't want you to waste your time, but I liked it, and yeah, it's just interesting. I would love to hear what films you love that you think other people hate, or vice versa, down in the comments below. I'd love to do a video on that, to be honest. Let me know if you're up for that. Okay. I then watched Army of Darkness and then Evil Dead 2, completely out of sync. I watched Army of Darkness because I have seen it before, but I wanted to re-look at it for my time traveling video, if you saw that. I just wanted to double check it was time traveling because I was looking up an article and someone mentioned he traveled to another realm, which is not true. But I mean, I guess because the whole universe is a little bit wacky, but Army of Darkness is the third Evil Dead film, and in this one, Ash goes back to the medieval times. I almost say medieval times, and yeah, it's a good time. It's wacky as hell. And then I watched Evil Dead 2. I watch with my patrons. We hang out twice a month watching films, so one of them picked this, and it was really good to watch for a second time. The Evil Dead movies are so good. Yeah, I just think that they're such a classic that I love and are so different to anything else. And that one's just so wacky. So many cool special effects. Obviously not the first time I've seen it, but really enjoyed watching that. Gave it 4 stars. And then I watched Enter the Void. I thought I'd seen this all the way through, but I'm not too sure. Maybe I watched it when I was younger, like 18, when I was starting to watch more, I was going to say pretentious, but you know, more art house kind of films. I just really didn't remember the ending, and it was kind of shocking. I love Gaspar, as I said. I am going to do a video on him. That's why I wanted to rewatch this. So sorry, it is coming. I know a lot of you really want that, and I want to do it too. I'm a fangirl. I really am. Please let me know if there's any fan-made merch of his, because I would love to wear a shirt that, you know, Climax or something, I don't know. I just think his work is so unique, and I think he's one of my favorite directors, really. But Enter the Void, if you haven't seen it, sorry, I didn't even get into the plot line, is about, how do I say this? It's about a man who is a drug dealer, or gets like caught up with that in Japan, and there's this awful incident that happens that makes him recount his life. Is that a way of explaining it without giving away too much? I don't know. There's lots of sex, drugs, nudity, all the words I can't say on YouTube. And it is just it's a beautiful journey. And it has all of those beautiful roaming shots, almost like Irreversible. I'm sure a lot of people hate Irreversible, but has the same kind of roaming atmosphere where you're just traveling scene to scene, and it's just an adventure. Enter the Void is a perfect title for it, even though it's based off the club where a lot of stuff happens in this film. Yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful film. I don't think everyone will agree with me, but it's a beautiful film. I gave that 4 stars. I then watched Violation, which this is a film a lot of people have been asking me about, telling me to watch. A lot of people tell me, you need to watch this film, and sometimes I've already watched it. So if you do want to find out if I've watched something and you don't want to go through the, you know, whole process of having to message me, you can just look at my Letterboxd, because I try and update that as soon as I watch the film. I try. So Violation, oh my God, that picture. If you've seen it, you know why that's so funny. That picture on the Letterboxd, that's so cruel. They put that up there. Anyway, this is a film that is about SA. It is about assault and revenge. So, you know, it goes in that category. And it is, for me, it was a little bit disjointed. I feel like, this is the thing, this topic or this genre has been done so many times, and that's not a bad thing. If there's room for it, people still watch them, people like that genre. I mean, it's hard to say like it, but you know what I mean? People feel that it's cathartic, and you know, they are, I don't know, they're interesting stories. I don't know how to say that. They're engaging. But the issue is with this, my issue is with this film, it skims over so many of the other moments to try and have this whole wraparound moment. And there's so many questions I had unanswered about the characters. And I know, obviously, with this circumstance, they shouldn't have to explain themselves. I'm not meaning that kind of stuff, if you're getting my drift. But I do find it, there's a lot of holes in the story, not plot holes, just a lot of things about the characters that would have made me connect more and understand more. There's a lot of context missing, I would say. I'm not saying anything like it didn't happen, because obviously it did. But for me, it was hard for me to sink into the film because the characters I just didn't get. I do think that one of the most chilling moments of this film was her conversation with her sister in the water. Like, that broke my heart. Like, it makes me want to cry. So that, I found that was really effective. But I find these kind of films, they want to touch on different things that others miss, because obviously we have films like I Spit on Your Grave, and they have such a basic plot line of what happens, and this is more emotional, so I feel like they've got to give and take some scenes and some character development and moments that would really, you know, space out because it goes back and forth in time in this. So I feel like there's just some moments I'm missing to understand the full picture. I hope I'm making sense. I'm being quite vague, but obviously people who have seen it, they've asked my opinion, so I'm sure you'll understand that. So for that, I felt like there was bits that I just needed a couple more scenes to kind of like put everything together in my head. But I've heard a lot of people like this film. It has a lot of intense gore and not what you think. And surprising. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was different. But I don't know. I'm still kind of on the fence about it, I guess. I watched Prometheus, and talk about films that you thought you liked and you don't like. I saw Prometheus first in the cinema when it came out. So what was that? Yeah, like nearly 10 years ago. And I thought it was great. And then I watched it this time and I was like, I don't like this. This is not my cup of tea. But it is quite, like, obviously there's sci-fi, but it's quite fantasy. I know it, like, of course there's aliens, you know, so, but it's very fantasy-esque in a way that it doesn't really line up with my with my likes, but it's action and it's fantasy-ish, but not in the way that the other Alien movies are. We're watching the Alien series, but we're watching it in order. So we watched Prometheus first, but I thought the best thing about this was we get all the crap ones over first, right? So Prometheus, I gave a 2 out of 5. And then we watched Alien Covenant, which I had not seen. And the main woman, Catherine Waterston, I hope I said that right, who plays Daniels. She was in The Third Day, which was that crazy cult TV show. It was amazing. So I liked seeing her. I think she's really great. I thought the special effects were really cool on this one, and the story was a little bit predictable, I would say. But surprisingly, it was okay. 2.5. Gave a couple of 2.5s and a couple of 4s. So it's been an up and down and around kind of month. If you do want me to rank all of the Alien films, let me know. I can do that because I'm watching them all. So let me know. I'll do a video on it. And I swear I'll do it because I'm going to be watching them very soon. But that is everything I watched this month in terms of movies. Recommend to you Enter the Void. If you're into Gasper kind of stuff, if you're not into Climax or anything, I know a lot of people hate that kind of movie, but if you've seen Climax and you haven't seen Enter the Void, highly recommend it. Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness. Phobias, I don't know if I should recommend that or not, but I liked it. The Village, if you haven't seen it, again, a good one to decide which side of the fence you sit on. I like The Village, people don't. Slacks, I definitely recommend it. That's a good time. Come True, did I miss Come True completely? I did. How strange. I don't know why I missed talking about this. Sorry, thank God I went back through them. Come True is a sci-fi horror, and it is about a woman who has a sleeping disorder, and she books herself into this clinic to do like these trials and to be tested, and you see her dreams and they're pretty nightmarish. It's a very beautiful, visually, it's just a stunning movie. And her dreams are very intense and scary. I really liked that aspect. But it's a very slow burn film and there's not a lot of actual story. So it's a lot of montage and it's a lot of feeling and idea, but not a lot of execution. So I was kind of a little bit bummed out by this one. I did do a review for my patrons, but it looked really good. The acting was great, and it was quite scary at parts, but I wanted to see a little bit more build up in the middle. The end is probably worth it though. That's as much as I can say on that. Sorry, I totally missed that. So yeah, I guess that's all. I probably would recommend Jumpman as well because I don't think a lot of people would have seen that. It's Russian and it's very unique. So if you're after something that's quite unique, I think a lot of you will love that film. Okay, that was my movies, but I have so much TV to talk about. You're gonna be surprised how many TV shows I watched. It's a little bit alarming. Something that I watched on the cusp of the end of last month and this month was The Disappearance at Cecil Hotel. I hope I'm saying that right. I always want to say it the other way. And this was the Netflix documentary. It's called Crime Scene. I think that they're going to start developing it into a series. So this was just like the first one, Crime Scene Part 1. But I think it is 4 parts, but season 1, I should say. And this is about the hotel in LA. A lot of people didn't like this because it had no new information, but I didn't know a lot of different things like that it was located on Skid Row or near Skid Row. I did not know that. And other little bits about the heavy metal artist and all that kind of stuff. So I knew about her and about like what happened and obviously about the video. The video went like viral. If you don't know, the series is about Elisa Lam, who unfortunately passed away in this hotel in really mysterious circumstances. So it's about the mystery behind that. I think it was compelling in a way because you got to see people actually speak on it, which you hadn't before, like the hotel manager and all that kind of stuff. But I felt like they left a lot up to speculation and I would have liked some answers. Next, I watched Tell Me Your Secrets, and I watched this because one of you guys recommended it to me and I hated it so bad. But I didn't get angry at the person. It is a series on Prime. I think it was Amazon Prime. It's Amazon Prime here in Australia. And it is about a woman who she was in this relationship that got, I want to say violent, but it also turned into a criminal situation, and she has to relocate, and she's lost a lot of memories or suppressed a lot of things that happened to her in this relationship, and she has to put together the pieces of this mystery. I wasn't for this TV show. I thought it was really disjointed and confusing, and I didn't like any of the characters. And then I learned it was based on a book, so that made a lot more sense to me, because whenever something is so disjointed and random, usually it's because they're taking aspects from a book that sometimes don't work and developing it into a series, or they just haven't had that foresight to figure out what kind of elements would actually work when the edit comes together. So yeah, I just would leave that one. I don't have much good things to say about it. Thank God there wasn't many episodes. Something that will surprise you is that I watched WandaVision. I watched this, guys. I watched a superhero thing, and I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, it's more emotional. I don't really have to explain to you what it's about. It's about, do I even know what it's about? I watched it and I had no idea who anyone was, by the way, but I wanted to see it because I like Elizabeth Olsen, and because a lot of people were putting spoilers up, I'm like, I need to watch this before it gets spoiled for me, even though I don't care about it. So I watched it, and obviously it gives away a lot of stuff that happened in the franchise, and I kind of figured it out backwards, so that was fun. But yeah, I just wanted to throw it out there that I enjoyed it. I'm not going to give it an in-depth kind of analysis, but that was something fun. And if you're on the edge, if you don't like that kind of stuff, but maybe like your partner or your friends or your family are going to watch it, jump on board. I don't think it's bad. I think it was kind of cool, and the way they ease you into it is really creative and fun, so enjoy. Something else I finally finished, it only took us 3 months, is Twin Peaks season 3. I was initially quite disappointed, but then I slept on it and I realized, I woke up in the morning and I was like, that is exactly how it should have been. So I actually really like it. It just took me a lot of coming around, and I think because we watched it so spaced out, it probably didn't help it. I think if you watched it all like together, I think it needs to be not binged, but it really needs to be watched closer than a couple of months apart. Because there's just so much different plot devices and confusing subplots, and a lot of it didn't get tied up, just completely dropped off characters that you have no idea what happened to them. It was very confusing. Not saying that they didn't continue from season 2, just new characters came up and then they would have this dramatic moment and they would just disappear. But at the core of it, I was very happy with the arm as always. A little bit disappointed with I don't want to say too much, but with I think that's a spoiler. I'm not going to say that. There was one aspect that was bigger in there that I was a little bit upset about how long it took. I hope that's not a spoiler. Anyway, so that's how I feel. I feel like that's quite vague. But a lot of people ask me to do a video, but I just don't know where to start, to be honest. Like, how can you even, I can't even speak about like one episode of Twin Peaks and focus on one character in one episode for one video. Like, that would still be an hour of me talking. So I wouldn't even know where to start. Maybe I need to focus on the arm because I love the arm. But yeah, let me know if you have ideas, because I have no idea where to start. A lot of people ask me my thoughts and I'm like, I will be here all day. So let me know what you guys want to hear, if you do still want to hear about my opinion on all of that. Okay, still more. Murdering Among Mormons. I watched that series. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. If you have not seen it, watch it. I don't want to say too much once again, because it's a crime documentary about Utah and, like, you know, Mormons obviously there, and the cultures between them, but then it goes completely off track, and it's about this man who finds all of these like original documents containing information from the church or about the church, or really about their religion and the origins, and it's so fascinating. As someone who I have a deep, profound respect for religion, and I'm just so fascinated by it. And yes, I loved it. And there's just so much more in it that I can't say, but it's not about what you think it's about. Just say that, like, it is not, don't let the name fool you. This is peak, like, interesting true crime stuff, and it isn't true crime in the way that you hear about someone, obviously there's murder among it, but you don't hear about, you know, the grisly details of that kind of thing where you would in most true crime docu-series. It's not really like that, so it's a little bit lighter. Obviously there's some horrific things that happen in it, but it's not about what you think it's about. So I really enjoyed that. I ran a bath and I was like, I'm just gonna watch one episode. I was like on the edge of the bath, like watching like this for 3-4 hours straight. It was fascinating and I highly recommend it. It's on Netflix, if I didn't say that. I finally watched The Servant season 2. I felt it was shocking. It was so different to the first one. If you've seen the first season, this is like an M. Night production. It's about this family that are grieving, and they have this born-again doll to help them through the process. And then they have this nanny come in, and she is sketchy as all hell. I can't say too much more, but that's season 1. Season 2 is insane. The first season is really creepy and slow and sinister, and the second season is just like things are happening so quickly. It's really hard to keep up. It is shocking. It is amazing. And if you're interested in religion, watch it. I know I haven't really mentioned any of those themes, but they get very strong in season 2, and it is just wacky. It's wacky. It's really off the walls. Like, it's not very believable, but I think it's super interesting, and I really enjoyed it. If you have Apple TV, is that what it's called? Apple TV Plus? Definitely watch it. It's not very long to get through the whole thing. I think I got through it in 2 days. It was so good. So yeah, season 2 I was happy with it, and I can't wait for season 3. I also watch Calls, which is a new series on Apple TV Plus. Every episode goes from 12 to 17-ish minutes, and it's a drama horror mystery. I highly recommend this. I watched it all in one sitting because they're such short episodes. There's only 9 episodes. It's really easy to binge. It has a 7.7 currently on IMDb, and it's well deserved. I don't want to get too much into it, but it's about strangers being connected through calls, and then something kind of spooky paranormal happening. There's so many famous actors who are doing the voices, including Aubrey Plaza, Mark Duplass. The list really does go on. And you can just listen to this almost like a podcast because it is just the calls. But they did something really interesting with the visuals, and they have the waveforms creating the story as it goes on. It's really clever, very unique, and pretty chilling. I don't want to give away too much, but you just need to watch to the end. Yeah, it's very well constructed and thought out, and I absolutely love this. And I know you watching are probably a horror fan as well, so I highly recommend this one. If you haven't got Apple TV, maybe just get it for the free trial just to watch this, because you can watch it pretty fast, probably within the free trial period. And another show I started watching is Ozark. Yay! It took me so long to get started watching this, and I love Jason Bateman, and he is in this, but he also directs, creates it. And yeah, it's about money laundering and crime, but also like a drama, like a family drama, all, you know, weave together. I just think it's really interesting. I love Jason Bateman, and I think he's so convincing in this role. So we're already on the end of season 2, but I think there's 3 seasons out. So I was very excited that this lived up to the hype. So thank you anyone who's talked about it before. And yeah, I would recommend it if you're looking for something to watch. It's on Netflix in my country, hopefully yours too. And the last TV show, I know, I watched a lot, right? The last TV show I've been watching, it's coming out day by day, is The Circle UK. I did watch The Circle Celebrity UK season 3, which was for Stand Up for Cancer, which was awesome. And I've been watching the new one, and it is so good. Yeah, I can't say too much. If you do know about The Circle is a reality TV show where they're put into an apartment building and they talk to each other through this device called The Circle. So they pretty much, people can catfish each other, and it's like a popularity contest where they vote people out in terms of who they connect with, who they don't, who they think is real, who they think isn't. I think it's really interesting and yeah, super fun. So I'm really into this season. I think it's so good. I want to say stuff, but obviously it's total big spoiler. But what I can say is Saeed is my favorite. So good, so funny. Watch it if you're into that kind of thing. I watch it using my VPN actually. So shout out to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. And you can hear my voices going. So that is all I have for you today. Thank you to everyone on social media. If you have seen me looking down or around during this video, it's because my dog, so sad. My dog Gromit unfortunately fractured his bone when he was running the other day. And I saw it happen and it was horrendous, and he's just in a lot of pain, and it's been a crazy couple of days. Just trying to organize his surgery and making sure he's okay. He's a huge dog. If you don't know, I have a greyhound, and he's huge and very confused, and it's just, it's so much. So thank you for everyone who sent me well wishes on social media. I really appreciated it, and he'll be fine. We've got it under control, but please just bear with me if uploads are a little bit sketchy for a little bit. I'm just making sure that he is my priority. I still have a day job, obviously, so I'm trying to take care of him and still work and obviously do this. So there's a lot, but thank you so much for all of your messages. I really appreciate them, and it doesn't go unnoticed. Anyway, I hope you're having a lovely day. If you did find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help me out. And if you haven't subscribed, I do 2 videos every single week talking about horror movies and thrillers, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Stay safe and stay spooky. Bye guys.